Your dashboard lights are flashing like a Christmas tree, strange noises emerge from under the hood, and your once reliable car now feels like a mystery waiting to be solved. Before you rush to the nearest mechanic and empty your bank account, let me share 12 revolutionary techniques that transformed my 15-year automotive career. These methods can literally resurrect any failing vehicle and return it to showroom performance, with technique number 7 personally saving me over $3,000 last year. But here's the kicker. Method number 10 is so effective that many dealerships prefer to keep it classified. I'm talking about completely restoring your vehicle's performance without spending a single penny on expensive repairs. If your car exhibits electronic malfunctions, engine misfires, or simply doesn't respond like it used to, don't attempt any fixes until you've mastered these insider secrets. The automotive industry deliberately conceals these techniques because they dramatically reduce their profit margins on unnecessary repairs. Manufacturers intentionally program planned obsolescence to force you into purchasing newer vehicles more frequently than actually necessary. However, with the right knowledge and proper techniques, you can maintain your automobile in pristine condition for decades. My neighbor Frank still drives his 1994 Honda Civic thanks to these methods, and it runs smoother than many modern vehicles. These secrets originate from advanced technical training programs that only certified master technicians typically receive during their professional development. Today, I'm freely sharing this invaluable knowledge that I've accumulated through years of hands-on experience with virtually every vehicle type imaginable. Each technique I'll demonstrate has been rigorously tested on hundreds of different vehicles, from compact cars to heavy-duty trucks. The results are consistently spectacular when these procedures are applied correctly and in the proper sequence. First technique, perform a comprehensive engine control module adaptation cycle after any electrical intervention. Your modern vehicle contains over 90 separate electronic control units that communicate continuously through sophisticated data networks. Each module maintains its own dedicated memory banks and adaptive parameters that evolve constantly based on your unique driving patterns. These intelligent systems learn your acceleration habits, braking preferences, and even your typical route characteristics. When these systems accumulate corrupted data or conflicting parameters, they create cascading failures that compromise overall vehicle performance. The primary engine control module continuously analyzes more than 70 different operational parameters, from exhaust gas temperatures to intake manifold pressures. If these values aren't periodically reset and recalibrated, your engine can develop progressive malfunctions that worsen over time. The correct procedure begins with a precise 3-minute warm-up period, neither longer nor shorter than specified. During this critical phase, all sensors reach their optimal operating temperatures and lubricating oils return to proper viscosity levels. You must then drive exactly 20 minutes in urban conditions at moderate speeds, never exceeding 30 miles per hour. Strictly observe all traffic regulations, make complete stops at red lights, and absolutely avoid aggressive acceleration or emergency braking maneuvers. During this crucial phase, the engine control module analyzes your driving patterns and adjusts injection parameters accordingly. The oxygen sensors measure exhaust gas composition and transmit this vital information to the controller, which optimizes the air-fuel mixture. Next, you must drive on an open highway for another 20 minutes at constant speed between 50 and 65 miles per hour. This second critical stage allows the system to map engine performance under normal load conditions and fine-tune the injection mapping. The controller records optimal values for each engine speed range and can subsequently detect future anomalies with remarkable precision. Many drivers neglect this essential procedure, which explains why their vehicles retain persistent problems even after professional repairs. The difference in engine behavior before and after this procedure is absolutely remarkable, with noticeable improvements in smoothness and fuel economy. Second technique, manually calibrate all power windows after any battery disconnection or electrical system intervention. Each power window motor in your vehicle possesses sophisticated internal memory that precisely records the upper and lower positions. This memory also stores resistance points that enable the system to detect obstacles and reverse direction to prevent accidents. When this memory becomes corrupted following power interruption or electronic malfunction, your windows may exhibit unpredictable behaviors. They might stop halfway, descend without stopping, or worse yet, ascend with excessive force that could shatter the glass. I've personally witnessed windows crack due to improper calibration that abnormally increased the closing force beyond safe parameters. The professional solution involves manually reprogramming each window individually, according to precise manufacturer specifications. This procedure must be performed with doors open to avoid any risk of injury in case of malfunction. Always begin with the driver's window, then proceed clockwise to maintain consistency in the programming sequence. Lower the window completely while holding the switch and wait for the motor to stop naturally. Continue holding the switch for exactly 5 additional seconds after complete movement cessation. This action forces the system to memorize the absolute lower position and register the mechanical resistance point, then raise the window completely while holding the switch in the opposite direction until complete closure. Hold the switch again for exactly 5 seconds after stopping to program the upper position. Methodically repeat this procedure for every window in your vehicle, including the sunroof if your automobile features one. Don't forget rear windows, which often have separate controls and require independent calibration. This technique prevents recurring malfunctions that often force owners to prematurely replace entire mechanisms. Mechanics typically charge between $75 and $150 for this simple operation that requires no specialized tools. Third technique, properly purge and recalibrate the automatic climate control system after any intervention. Your modern automatic climate control system utilizes ultra-sophisticated temperature sensors distributed throughout the passenger compartment. These sensors, numbering between 6 and 12 depending on the model, constantly measure ambient temperature, exterior temperature, and humidity levels. The climate control computer processes this information in real time and automatically adjusts temperature, airflow, and vent distribution. When these sensors drift following power interruption or electronic malfunction, the system can completely lose its reference points. You then experience a system that blows cold air when you request heat, or vice versa. Some vehicles may even alternate randomly between hot and cold, creating major discomfort for occupants. I've encountered cases where climate control blew frigid air during 10-degree weather, forcing passengers to wear coats inside the vehicle. The professional recalibration procedure begins with a complete system diagnostic before any manipulation. First, verify that coolant levels are correct and the system shows no visible leaks. Start the engine and let it idle for exactly 3 minutes to allow coolant to reach nominal temperature. Set the climate control to minimum temperature, typically 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and activate the recirculation mode. This mode forces the system to process only interior air and significantly accelerates the cooling process. Patiently wait for the air to become perfectly cold at the vents before proceeding to the next step. This phase may take between 3 and 5 minutes depending on your cabin size and system efficiency. Then gradually switch to maximum temperature, typically 85 degrees, increasing degree by degree. This temperature increase must take at least 2 full minutes to allow sensors to recalibrate properly. If you increase temperature too rapidly, sensors won't have time to adapt and calibration will fail. Carefully observe that air exiting the vents follows the requested temperature progression. Finally, deactivate recirculation mode and let the system operate in automatic mode for exactly 5 minutes. During this final phase, the computer automatically adjusts all parameters and memorizes new reference values. This procedure definitively resolves most thermal regulation problems without requiring expensive specialist intervention. Fourth technique, clean and protect battery terminals effectively using an economical homemade solution. Battery terminals constitute the nerve center of your modern vehicle's entire electrical system. These metallic connections naturally oxidize over time due to humidity, temperature variations, and chemical reactions. This corrosion, recognizable by its greenish, whitish, or sometimes bluish color, creates parasitic electrical resistance. This resistance prevents proper current transmission and can cause absolutely mysterious electronic failures. I've diagnosed vehicles with complex symptoms, from randomly resetting computers to headlights that flickered without reason. In 80% of cases, the cause was simply poor connection at the battery terminals. Symptoms may include starting difficulties, lights that illuminate sporadically, or electrical equipment that functions intermittently. My friend Marcus spent over $1,500 on electronic diagnostics before discovering that corroded terminals caused all his problems. The professional solution is surprisingly simple and costs practically nothing. Prepare a miracle solution consisting of 2 tablespoons of food-grade baking soda in a large glass of warm water. This solution perfectly neutralizes the acidity responsible for corrosion and effectively dissolves existing deposits. Before any manipulation, always wear rubber gloves and safety glasses, as acidic residues can irritate skin. Always disconnect the negative terminal first, recognizable by its minus marking, then disconnect the positive terminal. This order is absolutely crucial to avoid accidental short circuits that could damage onboard electronics. Meticulously clean each contact with the baking soda solution using a wire brush or old toothbrush. Focus particularly on areas where corrosion is heaviest, typically around the clamping nuts. Then rinse thoroughly with clean water to eliminate all baking soda and corrosion residues. Perfectly dry the terminals with a clean cloth before reconnecting in reverse order, positive first, then negative. Finally, apply a thin layer of petroleum jelly or dielectric grease to the terminals to prevent future corrosion. This preventive maintenance, performed every 6 months, prevents numerous costly and inexplicable electrical failures. If you find these tips valuable, don't hesitate to subscribe to my channel and activate notifications to never miss any of my insider secrets. Your feedback and questions help me tremendously in creating increasingly relevant and practical content to assist you in maintaining your automobile. Fifth technique, reset and recalibrate the electric power steering system to restore optimal precision. Modern electric power steering represents a technological revolution compared to older hydraulic systems. This intelligent system continuously adapts to your driving style and memorizes your personal behavioral preferences. It analyzes how you take corners, your steering speed, and even the force you typically exert on the wheel. Over time, this adaptation can drift and create undesirable behaviors that compromise your driving comfort. The steering may become either too heavy during parking maneuvers or too light on highways, compromising safety. Some drivers complain of steering that doesn't naturally return to center after turns. Others experience parasitic vibrations or an unpleasant floating sensation at high speeds. These symptoms generally indicate that the system has lost its references and requires complete recalibration. My cousin Jennifer nearly had an accident due to steering that suddenly stiffened in a roundabout. The reset procedure begins by parking your vehicle on a perfectly flat and stable surface. Turn off the engine and wait for all electronic systems to enter standby mode. Then turn the steering wheel completely to the right until mechanical stop without excessive force. Maintain this position for exactly 5 seconds to allow the system to memorize this limit. Then turn the steering wheel completely to the left until the opposite stop and hold again for 5 seconds. Repeat this complete sequence exactly 5 times to ensure the system has properly recorded all information. Start the engine and let it idle for at least 2 minutes. Perform the same complete steering sequence with the vehicle running and the system powered. This procedure forces the computer to relearn mechanical stops and recalibrate electric assistance. You should immediately feel notable improvement in precision, progressiveness, and steering comfort. The system recovers its original behavior with perfectly dosed assistance according to driving conditions. Sixth technique, optimize diesel injector learning to improve performance and reduce consumption. Modern diesel injectors represent technological marvels, capable of performing up to 7 injections per engine cycle. These ultra-precise components operate under phenomenal pressures reaching 3,600 psi. Over time in use, these injectors gradually wear, and their nominal flow decreases imperceptibly. The engine computer intelligently compensates for this wear by automatically modifying injection timing to maintain performance. This compensation occurs continuously thanks to information provided by oxygen sensors and pressure sensors. However, when this compensation becomes excessive, the engine may exhibit malfunction symptoms. You may observe acceleration jerks, abnormally high consumption, or unusual smoke emissions. Idling may become irregular, and the engine may even stall unpredictably at traffic lights. These symptoms indicate the system has reached its compensation limits and requires reset. My neighbor Peter saw his consumption drop by 3 gallons per 100 miles after applying this technique. The solution involves forcing a complete reset of learning values stored in memory. This procedure must be performed with premium quality diesel fuel freshly dispensed. Absolutely avoid discount fuels or infrequently used gas stations that may contain impurities. Begin by filling up completely with this premium fuel to dilute any residues present in the tank. Then drive on the highway at constant speed for at least 20 minutes to stabilize engine temperature. Rigorously maintain speed between 50 and 65 miles per hour without variation. Then perform 3 progressive and firm accelerations up to 4,000 RPM. These accelerations must be spaced at least 2 minutes apart to allow the system to process information. During these acceleration phases, the computer analyzes new parameters and adjusts its reference values. This procedure forces the system to re-evaluate actual injector condition and recalculate optimal injection timing. Warning: this technique only works effectively with injectors in relatively good condition and fuel of impeccable quality. If your injectors are too worn or fouled, this procedure won't suffice and will require mechanical intervention. Seventh technique: perfectly synchronize multiple intake throttles on recent gasoline engines. Modern gasoline engines, particularly those equipped with direct injection systems, often feature multiple intake throttles. These throttles, typically numbering 4 to 8 depending on displacement, must open in perfectly synchronized fashion. Each throttle is controlled by an independent electric servo motor that receives commands from the engine computer. This ultra-precise synchronization optimizes cylinder filling and improves performance. When this synchronization becomes disrupted following power interruption or electronic malfunction, consequences are immediate. The engine may exhibit marked irregularities at idle, power losses, or abnormal consumption. You may also observe jerks during acceleration or deceleration. Idling may become unstable with sometimes significant speed variations. In severe cases, the engine may even stall unpredictably. My niece Isabella experienced this situation after disconnecting her battery to change her radio. The professional solution requires a specific synchronization procedure that few owners know. This procedure must be performed with an engine at perfect normal operating temperature. First, bring the engine to optimal temperature by driving at least 10 minutes at normal pace. Coolant temperature must reach between 175 and 195 degrees Fahrenheit. Then stop the engine and wait exactly 10 minutes before restarting. This pause allows throttles to return to rest position and the computer to detect possible misalignments. During this wait, all servo motors automatically reposition to their mechanical reference. Upon restart, let the engine idle for 5 complete minutes without touching the accelerator. The system then automatically performs throttle synchronization by analyzing airflows and adjusting positions. You may hear slight clicking from the engine compartment. This is perfectly normal during this phase. This procedure restores perfect synchronization and definitively eliminates operating irregularities. Eighth technique: methodically purge air bubbles from the cooling circuit to prevent catastrophic overheating. Air bubbles trapped in the cooling circuit constitute one of the primary causes of engine overheating. These air pockets create disturbed circulation zones that prevent coolant from performing its role. The result can be localized overheating that irreparably damages head gaskets or even the engine block. Head gasket repair can easily cost between $3,000 and $6,000 depending on the vehicle. My colleague Anthony destroyed his engine due to air bubbles he neglected after a coolant change. This delicate purging must be performed with a completely cold engine to avoid serious burn risk. Coolant reaches temperatures exceeding 212 degrees and remains under pressure even when stopped. First, locate the high point of the circuit, typically near the radiator or on the thermostat housing. This purge point is often marked with a pictogram or identifiable by a small screw cap. Consult your maintenance manual to precisely locate this point on your specific model. Very slightly unscrew this purge cap, just enough to allow air to escape, then run the engine at idle while carefully monitoring temperature. When coolant flows from the purge point without any air bubbles, immediately retighten the cap. Then check the level in the expansion tank and top off if necessary with recommended coolant. This critical operation prevents overheating failures that can completely destroy an engine in minutes. Ninth technique: intelligently recalibrate tire pressure sensors to eliminate false alerts. The tire pressure monitoring system uses electronic sensors mounted in each wheel. These sensors continuously transmit pressure and temperature information via radio frequency. Sometimes these sensors may give erroneous alerts that unnecessarily worry you and disrupt your driving. These false alerts may be caused by temperature variations, electromagnetic interference, or sensor drift. The system may also become disrupted after wheel changes or tire rotation. To definitively correct this problem, begin by meticulously checking all tire pressures. Use a quality gauge and inflate all tires to exactly the pressure recommended by the manufacturer. This reference pressure is typically indicated on a label located in the driver's door frame. Be careful, front and rear pressures may differ depending on your vehicle model. Then drive exactly 6 miles at moderate speed to allow sensors to thermally stabilize. Sensors must reach operating temperature to provide reliable measurements. Stop the vehicle and proceed with reset via the dashboard menu. This procedure varies by manufacturer but is typically found in the Vehicle Settings menu. Carefully follow instructions displayed on screen to validate the new configuration. This recalibration prevents false alerts that may unnecessarily worry you during trips. 10th technique, exhaustively test all electronic equipment after any maintenance to guarantee optimal operation. After any intervention on your vehicle, you must verify proper operation of all onboard systems. This systematic verification immediately detects any malfunction and prevents unpleasant surprises. Many problems appear only after power interruption or mechanical intervention. Methodically begin by testing complete lighting, high and low beams, front and rear turn signals. Also check hazard lights, reverse lights, and license plate illumination. Then test windshield wipers at all speeds, including rear wiper and washer system. Meticulously check air conditioning in hot and cold modes, as well as ventilation at all intensity levels. Systematically operate all power windows, electric mirrors, and power seats if your vehicle has them. Verify proper operation of audio system, GPS, hands-free phone, and all multimedia equipment. Also test driving assistance systems like cruise control, parking assist, or backup camera. This complete verification, though tedious, spares you subsequent breakdowns and return trips to the garage. 11th technique, reset the electronic stability control system for enhanced safety and performance. Electronic stability control represents one of the most important safety innovations in modern vehicles. This system continuously monitors wheel speed, steering angle, lateral acceleration, and yaw rate. When the system detects loss of control, it automatically applies individual brakes and reduces engine power. However, this system can sometimes become overly sensitive or lose calibration after electrical interventions. You may experience premature activation during normal driving or delayed response during emergency situations. My brother William experienced stability control activation every time he took highway curves at normal speed. The recalibration procedure requires specific conditions and must be performed on a flat, dry surface. Park the vehicle on level ground and ensure the steering wheel is perfectly centered. Turn off the engine and wait for all systems to completely shut down. Turn the steering wheel fully left, then fully right, repeating this motion exactly 7 times. Start the engine and let it idle for exactly 3 minutes without touching any controls. Drive straight for at least half a mile at constant speed between 30 and 40 miles per hour. Then perform 3 gentle left turns followed by 3 gentle right turns in a large parking area. This procedure allows the system to relearn proper vehicle dynamics and restore accurate calibration. You should notice improved stability control response and fewer false activations during normal driving. 12th technique, completely regenerate the automatic transmission's adaptive learning for smoother operation. Modern automatic transmissions continuously learn your driving style and adapt shift patterns accordingly. This adaptive learning optimizes shift timing, pressure, and torque converter lockup for your specific habits. Over time, this learning can become corrupted or adapt to poor driving conditions. The result is harsh shifts, delayed engagement, or poor fuel economy. My sister Rebecca noticed her transmission started shifting roughly after driving in heavy traffic for months. The solution involves completely clearing the transmission's adaptive memory and allowing it to relearn. This procedure must be performed with the transmission at normal operating temperature. Drive for at least 15 minutes to ensure the transmission fluid reaches optimal temperature. Park on level ground and engage the parking brake for safety. With the engine running, slowly shift through all gear positions, pausing 5 seconds in each position. Move from park to reverse, then to neutral, drive, and any manual positions your transmission offers. Return to park and repeat this sequence exactly 3 times. Turn off the engine and wait exactly 10 minutes before restarting. During this pause, the transmission computer clears its adaptive memory completely. Upon restart, drive gently for the first 10 miles, avoiding aggressive acceleration or heavy loads. The transmission will rapidly relearn optimal shift patterns for your driving style. You should notice significantly smoother shifts and improved fuel economy within the first 50 miles. These 12 professional techniques can transform any problematic vehicle into a perfectly reliable and efficient machine. If you conscientiously apply even half of these expert recommendations, you should notice spectacular performance improvements. These techniques represent decades of experience condensed into minutes of practical instruction. However, these methods constitute only a fraction of everything I can teach you about automotive maintenance. In my next exceptional video, I'll reveal how to precisely diagnose any automotive problem using only your smartphone. This revolutionary method will enable you to identify problems before they become visibly apparent. You'll be able to anticipate repairs and negotiate from a position of strength with your mechanic. This technique will save you thousands of dollars by avoiding paid diagnostics and unnecessary repairs. If this video provided concrete solutions, please subscribe and activate notification bells to never miss my exclusive tips. Your constructive comments and technical questions help me tremendously improve the content I provide free of charge. Tell me precisely in the comments which technique impressed you most and what concrete results you achieved on your vehicle. I personally read every comment and strive to answer all your technical questions as promptly as possible. See you in the next video to discover even more professional secrets, and never forget that your vehicle can function perfectly without breaking your budget.